Hi everybody, it's Nancy with Icon Apprentice, and I want to thank you for joining me again. We are finishing up our guardian angel. We have gotten all the flesh done, and we are ready to do a few things here. The first thing that we're going to want to do is we'll want to put in her eyes. We're also going to do her hair and get her hair colored in. And then we're going to be doing some flesh outlining. We'll be putting in our color on the hairband, and I am going to add something that's actually not in our reference copy. I'm going to add some little tails out here, little strings from her headband, just to add a little bit of variety. We're going to be outlining everything, and then we'll be putting in her halo, and also we'll be putting in the words Guardian Angel. We'll be using our halo red probably for that. So let's get started, and as always when we begin with our icon, we always pray and write into our icons those intentions that we have, prayers that we're asking our God to answer. So let's get started. Well, the first thing I want to do is let's put in her eyes, and of course the eye itself, the iris, is going to be burnt sienna. So we'll take some burnt sienna, and you can put a bit on your plate because we're going to be using the burnt sienna also for the hair. So you can put a nice sized amount of that paint out. Remember, when you're picking up paint, you want to roll that brush as you're pulling it out so that you get a nice tip on the edge of that brush. So let's move our color reference copy over, and let's bring our, you just see where that eye goes. Just barely. Okay. Looks pretty good. We'll let that dry a little bit, see if we need another coat. We probably will. Now, one of the things I always tell you to do, keep a damp brush handy, and you'll see right here I just went out of a line onto that lid just a tiny bit, so I'm just going to come in with a little damp brush and clean that up. Right. While those pupils are drying, we could even start putting a coat of this burnt sienna on the hair, and we just want a thin coat. We'll do two. We'll do two coats on the hair. Doesn't have to be real heavy. And I think we can go back and do one more coat on the eyes. What I want to point out before we get too far, just go back to your color reference copy and you can see that the pupils in the eyes actually touch those top lids. So don't come in and put the pupil like right in the middle of the eye with the iris all around it. Then she's going to look like she's staring into space a little bit. So and try to make it a circle, you know. As well as you can. Okay. Let's let that dry before we do our outline of the iris. And let's, I think we can go ahead and, looks like we can put another coat on the hair. Alright, that's 2 coats on the hair, and I think we're done with that color then. Alright, the eyes, I think we'll go back to the eyes now and get that liner brush going again. Go back into our black. Just make sure that that color is still loose. And then what we're going to do is we're going to outline the iris. Now, make sure you've got your damp brush. Push that black back just a little bit. Okay. That looks pretty good. And then there's always a black line right on the lid. Put some Flow Medium in here to loosen that paint up. Get a nice consistency going. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to go through here and we'll just start adding some of these highlights inside the hair.
She's waiting for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift and hope that you'll take it into her side. La 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 la.
For the hair to dry and our second coat on that, let's go ahead and finish up our eyes by putting in the little white reflections in the eye. And we will be using our liner brush for that. And I have put just a small dollop here of some unbleached titanium and a tiny drop of water, just to get that smoothed out here. Get that loose enough to move around. All right. And remember, wherever you place the white of the eye directs which way the eyes are looking. So in this particular instance, it tries to direct the eyes back to the viewer, not away from. So we just call them a comma, a little comma. And this one we'll put right over in here. Bring it right down. Outer portion of the eye. This one is going to go right in here. If you feel like you've made it too large, or if you've encroached and gone into the black, not to worry. Let this dry, come back into our black, and just reestablish that outline and make that a little bit smoother. So I don't want you to feel like if you've pulled that in a little too far, or you went too far into the eye. Please don't worry about that. It can be fixed. I'm going to come in here and just outline these wings. Alright, so looking at this, I just don't think it's bright enough. I'm going to take a chance and go in here and put just a tiny bit more of that gold oxide in. So, whoops, sorry about that. So let's go in here. Just do a little bit of a touch up here around the eyes. I just need a tiny bit of black. And what we're going to be doing is where I put the white in, I think I came in on the black area just a little bit, the outline of the pupil. So what I'm going to do is just come back in and just very carefully, hopefully you can see this, reinstate that line, and it just gives it a nice crisp, clean look. I am going to do a little Turner's yellow in this hair. I may be sorry, but I can always glaze it down. I spent a lot of time on the hair, and here we are. We've got about 30 minutes worth of video. So unfortunately, I think we're going to wait until next time to do the flesh outline and do the halo and do the lettering at the top. And then we'll do the exterior border in Indian Red Oxide. So that video will be coming up soon. Those are some minor things that we have to finish. And hopefully the next one will be the last one. I always end up saying that, and we still have to do the headband. So all right, well, we'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed doing the hair and outlining the robe. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those for me. I appreciate any kind of response or feedback that you guys give me.